Phantom Thief!
There's always two sides to a story. What if you could see both of those sides at the exact same time? This is Split Fiction. Don't go away. So Split Fiction came out pretty recently, and I honestly usually don't ever play games off release unless I'm pretty excited for them. In the case of Split Fiction, I was excited because I played Hazelight Studios' previous game, It Takes Two. A game that won Game of the Year when it came out. What I'm about to say, do not take this the wrong way, but I like to view these simple, straight up, here for fun kind of games. I view them as glorified modern GameCube games. You know those super simple PS2 or GameCube era games where you started a level and the only objective is to just do random stuff and go through the level pretty linear? That's what Split Fiction is, and it's completely coated in creativity. The premise of the story is actually pretty okay. A bunch of these authors show up to this big building, and the main guy's like, hey, you're here for the experiment, jump in this bubble. These guys are like, okay. But one of the characters is like, actually, I'm not okay with this seems really sketchy, I'm out. Fast forward to the fact that she accidentally ends up in the same bubble as someone else. What this bubble machine thing is, it just takes the author's book and creates an actual world out of it. He's just gonna unplug the power.
Put me in this bubble, bitch!
And if the cover isn't a clue to what's going on here, I'll just tell you. With two people in the same bubble, the machine's all fucked up. So you'll be jumping between the two main worlds of these authors. For the two main characters, you have two sides of the same coin. Mio is that jagged, rough, get stuff done, I don't care kind of attitude. And she writes about sci-fi, revenge stories, brutal murderings, space stations exploding, kind of stuff like that. And on the other side, you have the more fluffy and soft Zoe. She writes about fantasy, about the idea of heroics, and the good guy winning in the end. It's a pretty easy and simple story hook to have these two opposite-minded characters forced to interact with each other to escape this whatever they're in. But honestly, no one's really playing this game for story. Let's talk gameplay. Much like It Takes Two, Split Fiction goes through multiple segments. The segments always include getting from point A to point B, beginning to end. But how you get there is always changing, and it's the number one thing you look forward to is what kind of gameplay mechanics change up. There is no limit to what you could think of. It could happen. That is the idea of Split Fiction.
Watch out!
Nope.
A boulder!
I can jump it. Oh wow, that went way quicker than I thought.
One of these levels, me and my friend found ourselves playing as this centipede thing, both controlling one half, working together to get through these obstacles without dying. 20 minutes later, you could find yourself running away from this robot that spits acid, and then literally 30 seconds later, the camera changes.
What? This is a crazy POV for a fight. We even get the audio thing too.
The next segment could have you controlling these wispy, magical animals. High-speed motorcycle chases from controlling pigs on a farm, controlling nature itself to open up a path for your teammate, all the way to a literal dance battle. I don't know what was the most memorable segment for me in this game, but running up to the Monkey King and expecting some murderous gorilla kind of thing, and then all of a sudden this guy pops out. I look back so fondly on this game. But I'll be straight with you here. A lot of this game is puzzle based, just so you're aware. No matter what mechanic you're working with, whether guns or jetpacks, every situation almost always boils down into working together with the person you're playing to proceed through the level. Whether through intricate thinking, intricate timing, a lot of this game requires you to work through puzzles with your teammate. There's no such thing as XP or microtransactions or leveling up your character or searching around for loot. Split Fiction is a straight up put the disc in, grab a friend, and play. And I say grab a friend because you literally have to. I don't have a problem with this because I do have a friend to play with, but you literally cannot play this game single player. It is unavailable.
I'll protect you! Fuck!
Presentation for Split Fiction goes pretty hard. I will say a lot of the music in this game, I don't honestly think of, I don't think the game's music really plays a huge part, but visually and sound design wise, I think really lifts this game up. Because as much as the gameplay mechanics shape up, like they keep changing up, they keep switching up, the thing that really drives home the fact that you're jumping between these two authors' different worlds is the fact that everything thematically changes. It really is super impressive, even from a technical standpoint, because you're creating all these assets that are really only used for a 20 or 30 minute segment. And these assets that I'm talking about, like these far out of the distance, like looking around the world kind of thing, is what you think like an entire, very long, open world AAA title would have. But here, they're just used for like 30 minutes.
Oh, were we supposed to get off? Bye. No, it's good.
Actually, wasn't too sure if this is even like fucking long.
I was too busy looking at the scenery.
Phantom Protocol.
You will be constantly hopping off the trail to look at stuff on the side. But it's not just the visuals. As I said previously, the sound design really helps here too.
I'm just gonna wait
We
for the
gotta
next.
time it.
What? Okay, apparently that's what that button is. Boys! I got the button.
There's no point in me describing to you how cool the sound design is, how much it helps this game thematically. So just here's a couple clips.
Nah, he's the greatest.
Oh my god, that's crazy. He's coming for the light.
So overall impact, I thought this was a hot take until I saw the actual game developer agree with me.
Split Fiction.
I say Split Fiction is better than It Takes Two in every way, even including story. I think gameplay, you could argue that it's better, not by a huge margin at all, but I actually really do like these two main characters more than I do in It Takes Two. Before I try to drill home the number one thing about this game that I think makes it successful, let me talk about the boss fights, because the boss fights are really cool here. It's no surprise that boss fights always come at the end of a level. Super common, right? But through these levels, you always are learning a new game mechanic. And with your partner, you're learning how to traverse through the area with these mechanics, how to defeat enemies, how to beat puzzles with them. And boss fights encompass all of that. You're defeating an enemy through using a puzzle mechanic to either shoot open an open area so your teammate can come in and drill home a shot, or something very similar to that. Boss fights are very cool because it involves every mechanic you've learned into one scenario.
Oh, and to this day.
Oh, we have to continue to go up. Oh, you need to shoot the last one, please, please shoot the last one.
But the number one thing I think Split Fiction and Hazelight Studios with previous works of A Way Out and It Takes Two is the fact that they're fun. F-U-N. A three-letter word that I think some games, especially in the AAA, big, North American titles, have forgotten. There is no microtransactions. The game is actually, literally, I paid, it was 65 Canadian for me. It is not a full price game. You only need one copy, thanks to the Friends Pass. Split Fiction prioritizes the player's fun value over everything else. If you've got a friend and you've got time, I do highly recommend playing through this game. You will enjoy your time quite considerably.
I'm trying to jump the boat.
I didn't see that train. I didn't see that train.
Whenever Hazelight Studio releases their next game, I will be there day one. Split Fiction, 9.1 out of 10. So that's it. Split Fiction is done. I had a great time with this game. While editing through this review, I was still surprised at how I forgot about a couple of those gameplay segments were that cool and creative. But I don't have a huge outro here for Split Fiction, so with that being said, I'm your host, Saberplan Entertainment. Hope you enjoyed this review. Peace out.
No matter the cost.
Dude. Dude. Oh,
What is up? I know what you're thinking. You're only here for the bonus Easter egg soundtrack I put in at the end of every video. But did you also know I have a donation page under Buy Me a Coffee? Donate whatever you want to my channel and I'll put half that back to an environmental charity. So that's that. Enjoy the music. Peace out.